really well, phrases, and also areas in which we can maybe improve our speaking abilities. I will provide a report at the end of the meeting.
Okay, well, thank you, Georgie. Thank you very much. Our ballot
I'm
counter.
sorry, I forgot to mention something.
Go ahead, Scott.
As the word master, I will be paying attention if you use the word of the day, and if you use it or not, I will report it at the end of the meeting as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Scott. Okay, our ballot counter is going to be Google Forms. For Google Forms, I will be posting a link that I'll be sharing. Please vote as soon as the speech is finished. That includes table topics as well, and all for best speaker, best evaluator, and best table topics. Let me just send that link to you right now. Check in your chat windows. And if you should see the link right now, please vote after the speeches are finished. Okay, as video masters, Zoom will be our video master today. I've already clicked on it, so we are recording the video. At this time, it's time to get into our speaking section of the meeting. And our first speaker of the day is Jose. Jose is a longtime regular speaker. He has an eclectic collection of speaking topics, has done a lot of speeches on meditation and well-being, but his current focus is about marketing and sales, and they are becoming, I actually happen to think that they're required listening. So please welcome Jose.
Thank you. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster.
Sorry, Jose. Sorry to interrupt you. Have you discussed about who are the evaluators for the speakers?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Thank you, Gautam. So our first evaluator is going to be I'm going to be evaluator 1 for Jose, and Minju is going to be evaluator number 2 for. It seems that our second speaker is
Wyoming.
Our second speaker. No, actually, Chandana was our second speaker, but she is not. Is Chandana here?
Yeah, I didn't prepare a speech, so sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, I thought we had 2 speakers as well. Okay, so I will be evaluating Jose's speech, and we do need a general evaluator.
Actually, I'm the general evaluator, and I thought that I was going to be evaluating Minju because she had some sort of an evaluation project she needed to get done. Am I right about that, Minju? Okay.
Yes, please. It doesn't have to be in any particular form. Whether I was clear or organized and I finished within the speech time, the general criteria that you usually evaluator as a general evaluator, that will do.
Okay, well, in that case, since our speaker, our second speaker is in here, Minju, would you like to evaluate Jose?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. And one other thing, Scott, I believe that you are the word master. Maybe you could share the word with everyone on the chat so that way it's visual as well.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Okay. So with Minju evaluating Jose, I'd like to introduce Jose on his speech about buying influence, and he will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, hi. Morning, everyone. Let me set up. Let me set up the sharing. I always had problems with this. Let me see now. Where is it at? Share screen. You have it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Again, good morning, everyone. Today, I'll be sharing one part of the 4-part series I'm presenting in terms of technical selling. As you may remember, I started off with general selling concepts, and now the second one was sales funnels. This third one will be buying influences, basically trying to understand the other side of the table, who your buyer is, and how you have a general idea of how to respond to certain people that you encounter, not just in technical sales. This also applies to everyday communication. It also applies to selling basic things, right? Basic selling. But in my experience, it's technical selling, so it's more formalized, and that's a good thing. That way, you categorize every activity that you do for selling in a certain way, and this way is what I found to be very, very. It doesn't move forward. Hold on. It doesn't go to the next slide. Oh, there you go. Okay, so my sources is again Miller Hammond seminars and a little bit my experience, but in this case I'm revamping the basic concepts into something that I found that was very, very effective based on my experience. So we start off with, when you analyze your buyer, it's good to analyze it in terms of the roles, in job roles, or in other words, for the common seller, the actual role of the person that's buying your product. And I categorize them in terms of user, technical, economic, or coach. User being the person, how does the person use your product? Technical meaning, what is the interest of the person beyond the product? Economic meaning, the person is only interested in what the product costs, because maybe later on he's willing to sell it. And then coach meaning, a person that's gonna buy your product just because they like it or just because they like you. So if you categorize your buyer in that sense, you'll have an idea of how to approach it. Now, in a technical selling situation, for example, in me, I sell connectors. I have a column of organizational chart on the left there, wherein U1 will be the most likely person that's going to be interested in what I'm selling, the test floor manager. U2 will be the test engineer, and U3 being the test technician, in lowering interest. And then on the next column over, you'll see product development manager. He's more likely going to be interested in buying from me. And then on the right, you'll see the accountant. The accountant is more likely going to be interested in buying from me. And why is that? Because in an organization, they're the manager, so they're making the decisions. But of course, there's also subtle buying influencers, people who are actually the real decision maker, and you have to know that whenever you sell. So, for example, let's start with a user. A user is somebody who's interested in how to use the product. For example, I'll make it simple. Let's say it's a doll. You're selling to a child. The child will like the doll, the way it moves, the color. That's a user type. A technical buyer would be if you sell the doll and the buyer will actually change the doll to something else. Like, for example, is he going to make it into he's going to put motors inside of it and make it into a little robot. That's more a technical person, a person that's going to change the product for you, and that's their interest, this product specification. Economic buyer is somebody who the first question would be like, how much is going to cost? And that's the concern, right? And the quality is also, there's a little bit of quality in it because they're always concerned with value. And if you think of your buyer, if the person you're talking to responds in that kind of way, it's an economic buyer. And so you tailor your presentation for money, right? And now, and there's also the coach. The coach in this organizational chart is higher up in the organizational chain. Why is that? Because these are the ones that you want to be these are the kind of person that you want to have on your side, at the higher level of management. And how do you meet people like this? Right? The key there is to sell to these people. They have to like you. Basically, you have to be in trade shows. You have to have a lot of presence in the media. And that's how you meet these people. Test managers, product development managers, research, technical, economic, they get a hold of you because they're in pain. Coach, they get a hold of you because they know you. So if you categorize the different to these types, then you'll get it, right? You'll make a very good presentation. And so in summary, the availability of buyers is based on need. Somebody likes you, they go to you. Revamp your presentation to based on these needs. There's key points, whatever. Emphasize the key points, especially when you feel that need within that buyer. After you get along with the buyer and have a few discussions, understand their processes, because there's always somewhere within that process where you can help them out. It's not just the presentation. It's not just what you're saying, what they're saying. There's also some deep aspect into selling. It's called identifying hidden needs. By inference, you don't ask these questions directly. It's nice to have the buyer tell you, but you have to make inferences of what they actually need. Trends and timing changes every few months. There's always some change in this industry. There's always some change in people's demands. So understand those things. And how do you do that? By communicating, constantly selling. And I will end with my final message: keep on selling. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wei-Meng. Thank you, Jose. You can take a few minutes, take a minute or two to give some feedback to Jose. And you can send your feedback to Jose in a personal message. Okay. If everybody has completed their send any feedback to Jose, we are going, since we don't have a second speaker, we are going to go to the evaluation section, and I will pass on. I'd like to introduce Georgie, who's going to be our GE. Georgie is going to be evaluating will be evaluating, is the general evaluator, and will be evaluating the meeting as well. So Georgie?
Thank you very much, Haroon. I would like to introduce Minju, who will be evaluating Jose. Go ahead, Minju.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Usually I have more time to organize my thought, but this is a wonderful opportunity to speak on my feet, I guess. And Jose, thank you very much for your speech. I was lucky enough to listen to your previous one, and then now I was able to listen to your third episode out of 4 series that you're working on, and then I find it very consistent and then very useful. So thank you very much for providing that speech today. As I noticed last time, your great strength is that you speak with the confidence and yet very in a calm manner. So when I listen to you, I have a reason to believe that you speak with the credibility, yet it's not like you're selling me or anything. So it works to me better when you are so calm. So I like that better. Second thing that I liked out of your speech is that you identify the source in the beginning, that you would quote some of the diagrams and then ideas from the book that you wrote, book that you read, and then you will mix it with the experiences. So you are just not listening to the summary of the book, and then we are getting the review of the book on top of your personal experiences, and then you identify it at the first beginning of the speech, which will increase your credibility as well. So I like that as well. One suggestion for next speech is actually editing the slides. So when I was a timer, so I was watching timing closely while you speak, and then I had to show green light when you were still in the 4 types of buyer slide. I think the subtitle of the slide was the 4 types of buyers, and then you were explaining what kind of types of buyers and what their roles in it. I was worried internally, oh, you already spoke 5 minutes and then you are still in the identification. How can you finish the implication strategy later on? But then I realized that was it. And then the next page you had prepared is the summary to wrap up what you talked about. So to the audience like me, who does not have a sales background, who rely heavily on the title on the slide to set the expectation of what's coming up next, I would like to propose to change the title of that slide from the 4 types of buyers to maybe 4 types of buyers and the strategy to appeal them accordingly, something like that. So that as an audience with no background can know that, oh, you're going to talk about the identification, strategy, and etc. So that's the only suggestions that I have. And then I am very looking forward to your next speech. I believe that will be the last one to complete yours. And then, yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Minju. And I don't remember if I'm supposed to do your evaluation now or not. What's the schedule at this point?
I usually wanted a written evaluation, but I think it depends on you and Toastmaster Haroon. Since we are short of 1 speaker, if you think that this is proper to provide
I'll just
verbal evaluation.
Yeah, I'll just do the regular schedule. So Haroon, at this point, do we transfer over to table topics, or do I give my evaluation of the evaluations?
Well, normally we evaluate, the general evaluator will do it, will evaluate the meeting at the very end after. So you can do this right. You can do that at that time. That will evaluate the entire meeting. But if you have to do some specific tasks about evaluating the evaluator, specifically for Minju, then I guess this would be the right time for that.
Okay. Ordinarily, I guess in theory, I'm supposed to evaluate the meeting and all the evaluations at one time.
Yeah.
But since we want to make sure that we get time in for Minju, and we do have a little extra time, I will do the evaluation on Minju now. Minju, I thought you did a very good evaluation on Jose. What I really liked most about it is that you are very cheerful and very positive. Whenever you have to give someone an evaluation, whenever you receive something that one might perceive as criticism, it's always nice to get that positive upsell, you might say, to the feedback for your speech. I thought that was the best part about it from my point of view. You came in and started very, very positive. You also reviewed the speech itself. So you explained back to Jose that this was the third speech that it's a series of speeches that he's given, and that, there's another one that's going to be coming down the pipeline. So that way he could understand that you understood the subject behind the speech itself. I think you give some really good feedback to him, focusing on his speaking style. And most importantly, I think for me, I like the way you praise his speaking style. You praise because it didn't sound like a sales pitch. Even though this is all about sales and sales pitches, you made certain points to him that it didn't sound like this speech itself was a sales pitch. And that he brought in the concept of his personal experiences to really liven up the material. You were a little concerned about these slides. Personally, I didn't have an issue with them, but I understand your point about that. The one thing that I might have added with respect to some feedback that Jose might want to consider is that when you were talking about the different buyers, 4 different types, at a few points you would say, for example, economic or technical or coach, and you kind of drop buyer. And at other points you'd say economic buyer, focusing on kind of the position and who exactly they are. I think that to make it easier to follow along with the material, if you're just kind of listening to it, if you were not like paying attention necessarily to the slides, I think it would be useful if you included the word buyer a bit more often, so we can remember this isn't just about talking to technical people, it's about talking to technical buyers and coach buyers. There's the long run is about not just providing information, but providing a sales pitch so that you can provide both services to the end customer, but also providing information on the products that you're selling. Other than that, I thought it went really well. Oh, one other small feedback for Jose. When you're having some issues with the slides and things like that, you might want to directly state that you're having problems with it. If you kind of wait a second and see if the slide catches up. Other than that, I thought it went really well. And I thought that the evaluation that Minju did, excellent job. Once again, kind of sandwich structure in which we have positive, some critical feedback, and then once again, positive feedback to encourage people to keep going on with the speech. And with that, I will now transfer control to our table topics person, who is, I believe, Hua Ming. Hua Ming?
Yes, thank you, Ms. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters. So we're going to do table topics. We look like we have some time, so we might be able to get everyone in here to talk about the table topic, which is summer, past, present, and future. So I just revamped my slides slightly so that we can do the table topic according to this theme. So bear with me, I'm gonna project something. The last time someone suggested that we use pictures. So I'm gonna just randomly pick folks from the chart here that I see. You know, we have a grid of 2 columns with 5 people or so, although we don't have quite 10 people in the room. And then from there, the first person happens to be number 3, which is Scott. Scott. So that at least when I look at the grid, I see Scott there in that position. And you're going to talk about the past, about this picture. And then from that picture, please describe what happened in the past in terms of summer.
Hi. Do I have audio? Can people hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Looking at this picture, we look at what in the past people spend their summertime, especially maybe a time on weekend. This looks like a beach with sand, but also with other trees in the background. It also looks like it's a lake beach. So we can see some ducks on the water. So this is a lake. We can see that people likes to go as a whole family. They want to have a cool experience by the lake. And we can see people maybe fishing even, and we can see people in the water. There are people on the beach that they are under some umbrella or canopy, and they want to eat there. They want to have a good chat. They are very closely packed. And this is a very good time that people enjoying as a family, as friends, and maybe they will also talk to random people and make new friends. Before the pandemic, I think this is what people expect, how they spend their summer. They will driving to, say, Tahoe, and they will have a very crowded experience and very relaxed. This is the past, and I think thinking about what we have done before, it's more person in person, right? And it's more about going to some place and experience it at there instead of a remote experience. That's my thought on what we have been doing in the past. And now we probably have to revamp how we do this, how we do the summer routine. And I guess that's the second person we'll talk about. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. This is part of a story. It just happened to be apparently a picture from past week. So at Telecao. So it's going to be very interesting what happened to people. Number 2 on the list happens to be Gautam. Gautam, we're going to talk about the present. And the present, we were surprised, you know, so all those people that were doing their visiting last past week, they had enjoyed themselves in the lake, and it just happened that at present something happened. Tell us what happened to those people when this happened.
Okay, so I have to talk about the present situation of the people who are being crowded in the past. Well, people wanted to continue their lifestyle regardless of the pandemic. They want to live their life without considering what exists today. While doing that, they focused on living in the present moment. They don't care about future. It could happen or it may not happen, but the present is the reality. While living with our friends, meeting new people, continuing their lifestyle, they feel like more energetic, and that make their mind healthy, even though their physique will not support if they get into any issues like COVID or something. So they strongly believe in their lifestyle, their mental ability to overcome any obstacles in this pandemic. So they continue their lifestyle without worrying about what's going on in their life. Over to you, Amy. Thanks.
Thank you, Gautam. The picture here, though, talked about these lightning that apparently just happened recently, and it happened in enormous storm, so it looks like a big squid. It had simultaneously, in fact, it caused a bunch of fires that's happening right now. So that's the present. In the meantime, all those folks that are on the beach, some of them went home and got sick. Some of them survived. And so we're gonna go to number 3, which happens to be Minju. Minju, you're gonna talk about present, about what happened to this particular person.
Sure. What happened to this particular person? So one of my hobbies, not my hobbies. So my husband has a flexibility for work. So most of his daytime, he is a main caregiver to my son. And one of their hobbies before the COVID is to go to the grocery shopping. It's like 10-minute walking distance. So, and then it would be a fun, just outdoor tour for my toddler as well. So they would go to the grocery shopping every day and then pick up all the fresh vegetables and watermelons. So that I really like that. But after the COVID, we were hesitant to bring toddler to the grocery market every day, so we stopped doing this. And then so we are struggling to providing fresh fruits to my toddler as well. And then whenever we cut out watermelon for him, he always used eat it like this, and then he cannot get through at the all of it. So always he ended up eating only top portion and then handed it back to me, which I don't have appetite for. So on one hand, I want to encourage that experiences for him so that he could enjoy having a watermelon with his mouthful. But on the other hand, I'm like, it's hard to go to the grocery shopping, so please eat your watermelon entirely so that we can limit the times that we go to the grocery shopping. So thank you, Table Topic Masters.
Thank you, Minju. So we're gonna start talking about future. It happens to be number 4, which is Saurabh. Saurabh, so this happened. So what happened to that little boy turned into this?
Hey, thank you. So do we still build on the summer theme and then talk about
Please, it is a summer and it's going to be, this is I think the future.
Oh, okay. Oh, I started with the All right. So summer is one of the 4 beautiful seasons that we have around us. Right, and as my fellow Toastmasters have shared their experiences about the summer past, the things that we used to do, the things how we used to enjoy our summer, the summer present, what we are doing today because of the given restrictions. So I think building on the past and present, that gives us a lot of time to think about what we have done in the past and in the current situation, what we can do to make the most out of the current situation. So that I feel will shape the way people, shape the way we think about summers in the future, right? I feel every activity in the future summer will be a very good reflection of the things that we did good and bad in the past versus the learning that we got from the present summer. So this picture feels like the summer of the future where people will try to learn from the current situation where social distancing and social isolation became the key component. So the next summer, the future summer, in my eyes, would be where people try to interact with each other more and try to focus and revamp their social interactions and get to know each other rather than being on technology or being stuck to their TV or Netflix. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh. So number 5 happened to be Haroon, and you can talk about what happened to this, the watermelon. What happened to it?
So is this the future self?
It's up to you now.
Okay. So obviously this is happening as a subsequent, around the same time period as that we saw with that child munching on that slice of watermelon. And what I'm thinking is that this dog will accompany that boy to the park, and they're enjoying their their future summer. The way I see it is that the fact that both the dog and the boy are at the park, wherever this park is, or at some location where there's a shade, where they would actually be eating some watermelons. And I'm guessing that this is one of those discarded watermelon slices where it's a very hot day and the owners of the dog have actually put a slice for the dog to sip on and to bite into to cool it off. So what I'm surprised is that I didn't even realize that dogs would actually enjoy watermelons. I mean, I thought that dogs were more or less carnivores. They would prefer eating either meat and water, but the fact that he's actually biting into a slice of watermelon means that probably a dog would enjoy a slice of watermelon. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is that this is a future where COVID has kind of become, we've seen the last, or COVID is receding, everybody's being vaccinated, and life is slowly returning to normal. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you. So life returning to normal. Number 6 happens to be, I think this is going to be Georgie, number 6. So besides the dog, this happened. You're mute.
I am unmuted now. And with that, I can explain that what we are looking at is an image from the future. Clearly, the DNA on cats has been gone through a CRISPR. So now we have cats that actually enjoy water. In addition to that, this is actually a bionic cat. So we have to be, if anything, concerned about a little bit of the electronics of the cat, maybe having some issues with water. This is a perfect creature to have around because unfortunately we may end up locked in our houses forever. And we certainly can't have our cats roaming about the place, possibly picking up COVID or other diseases. Hence the reason we need bioelectronic cats who cannot possibly contract any sort of disease. Hence the reason we will have these cats in the future. So we will be revamping all of the cats and all of the pets so that we don't have to worry about any sort of disease being passed from human to human, because cats adore sharing human families, as we all know. The reason the cat will leave a human habitation and go off on their own is so that they can visit other humans that they also like. And we don't want to spread diseases when we pet our cat, which is actually being pet by several other people in the neighborhood. In addition to that, you can clearly tell that this cat is obviously wired for Wi-Fi so that it can be tracked across the neighborhood. And so you will never need to worry about losing your cat in the future. You can just, like with the Tesla, automatically call your cat home by just sending out a signal on your remote control. In fact, there'll probably be an app so you can manage your cat remotely. Now, obviously, you can personalize your cat. You can obviously make them long-haired like this one is, or short-haired, once again, just by altering the configuration of your cat in your app. It'll be very much personalized. It'll be the cat of the future. And I suggest that we all consider patenting this idea now and moving forward with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So certainly the cat is bionic. And if you see one of those older movies, the bionic cats, when the bionic person trains in water. So this is training in water for the cat. So number 7 happens to be Jose. And so the cats and the dogs are gone, and we have ended with these 2 humans. Jose. And it's Summer.
Summer. Okay, good morning, everyone. There's a recent news update. We are currently going through a heat wave, and they've come up with a new kind of water that actually alleviates thirst much better than the regular water. There's a little bit of benefit in that this new kind of water helps you exercise. And this is a good picture of a couple trying this water out, and it comes out very good. Based on their feedback, the water actually makes their jogging performance even better. There's a lot of concern with the media in regards to this and the scientific community because the water may be dangerous and it has to go through scientific trial. So there's a big controversy in regards to this, the new engineered water, and we will get regular updates in regards to this. I personally will not drink it, but a lot of people do. What do you think? Back to you, Jane. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jose. So we have all 7 folks online talked about the table topics, and we'll return control back to the Toastmaster.
Well, thank you very much, Wei Ming. Let me just bring up my agenda. Hold on a second. At this time, that Wei Ming has done all the table topics, and thank you very much, Mr. Table Topic Master. And at this time, I'll call upon the general evaluator to conduct a general evaluation of the meeting. And our general evaluator is again, Georgie.
Thank you, Harun. My evaluation of the meeting begins with our starting time, which was right on time. Went through the duty masters without any issues. The only slight issue I would say is that we were expecting to have 2 speakers, and that didn't quite work out for today, but we managed that, and we managed to get the evaluations under control, and everything was put together perfectly because we, thanks to Gautam for reminding us that we needed to straighten that one piece out. In addition to that, I think that we did a good job with our slides. We were talking about doing this last week, about using this technique for table topics, about showing a picture and then spontaneously coming up with the story based around that picture. Once again, excellent job. We are a little early, once again, because we were expecting 2 speakers, but had 1. But with that just means that we have more room for speakers next week. So that's something for people to consider. With that, I will now go through, I guess, our duty masters, correct?
Correct, yes.
All right. I will start off with our timer. Minju, can you give us a timer report, please?
Sure. So speaker, myself, spoke. No. Speaker, sorry. Spoke 7 minutes and 60 minutes, 60 seconds. And for the table topics, Scott, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Gautam, 1 minute, 40 seconds. Myself, 1 minute, 51 seconds. Saurabh, 2 minutes. Arun, 1 minute, 55. George, 2 minutes, 30. Jose, 1 minute, 16. So everybody was qualified.
Thank you very much. While we are getting this last little piece of our meeting together, I think that we do need to make certain that we fill out our ballot. So everyone, please remember that. I think that as well, everybody, just to make sure that I remember properly, Waming, did everybody get a chance to speak at table topics?
Yes.
Yes, great. All right, so with respect to that, we have one speaker to choose from. We have our evaluator to choose from, and just about everybody for tabletops. If you please fill out your ballot, that would be great. Moving on to our next duty master, I would like to get Scott to give us the word master report, please.
Hi. I think I'm on mute, right? So the word today is revamp. And we have 3 people that use it. I used it, Jose used it, and Georgie used it.
Didn't Wanming use it as well?
Yes, Wyming also used it. Thank you. I missed that. And that's the people who use that, use the word. If you have not, it's encouraged that you use it next time. Use the word of the meeting next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. I would at this point also like to bring up the grammarian report, and that is me. So as grammarian, let's see. Minju, I think I heard you say works to me better. I think you meant works better to me. So it's good English. It just sounds a little awkward. Let's see. Scott, it sounded like you said revent, and I think maybe you either meant revamp or reinvent during the table topics. I wasn't sure which word you were going for. I thought it might have been reinvent, but I wasn't certain. Saurabh, let's see. Stick to your TV or your Netflix. I like when you said stuck to your TV, I thought it was very descriptive, very visual language. So I thought that was really well done. And those were the major points that I got from the grammarian report. Let's see. And let us now listen to our counter report from Scott.
Hi. Yeah, I'm not muted. Okay, so let me just start with Harun, because Harun has many chances to speak in between, especially at the beginning. So I got, I'm sorry, I'm reporting on the us and filler words that I counted after the first speaker started to speak. And Harun has 7 us. You have some more counts because you speak a little more time. And I count myself 2. Jose did a very, very good job because I didn't count any filler words. And I see that you use pauses. I was actually paying more attention because I didn't get any us. And I actually didn't get any us, so that's great. Wyming had 2 us. Mingju has 5 us. I'm sorry, I may pronounce your name wrong. Gohem? Goem?
Gautam.
Golden, yes. Golden has 1 us. 1 odd. And Georgie has 3. Saurabh has 3. And also you use a right. I think that is borderline filler word, or it may just be checking with the audience. So that's a maybe. Okay, so that's my accounting report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see. So from what I can tell, I believe that's all of our duty masters with the possible exception of the joke master and the ballot counter. Do we
Okay.
have a joke master for today?
Yes.
A joke.
Yep. Go ahead, Wei-Ming.
So I was at the hospital and walked into a surgeon's office. The surgeon asked me, "Can I help you?" I replied, "I keep thinking that I'm a moth. I'm a moth." The surgeon said, "Well, you probably want to see a psychiatrist for that." "Yeah, I know," I replied. The surgeon looked confused. "Then why are you here?" "The light was on." That's why I said it.
All right. Last but not least, I believe that I'm now supposed to transition to our president,
Yes. I'm the acting president. for this
acting
meeting.
president. Back to you, Harun.
Thank you very much, Georgie. That was a great evaluation. So it seems that since I'm the acting president, I do not have access to the form to see the responses for our ballots. So I'm not sure what the actual ballots are.
I'm going to guess that the best speaker was Jose.
Yes, the best speaker was Jose.
Just
We
a
do-
guess.
Well, you're 100% spot on, Georgie. The best speaker was Jose. There is an evaluation also, since we can vote for the general evaluator and for for the other evaluator who's speaking. So do send me your votes for the best evaluator and for the best table topics. So if
Do you want this to be sent via chat directly to you?
Yeah, you can send it to me directly through chat. I can't see the responses on the Google Forms. It just, I think I don't have access to that form to see the responses. So only Hannah can. If you can send that to me, and I'll do the ballot.
Okay, so while you're collecting that, perhaps we can start filling out roles for next week. Perhaps, maybe.
Yes, before we can do that, I'd like to call upon our guests
Oh,
to give
good
us
idea.
to give us some context. So, Sarv, what did you think of the meeting?
This was my second meeting. I think it was pretty informative. The table topics were really nice. The impromptu aspect is something that intrigues me, but the overall format is nice. Picking up the topics, talking about it, and getting that feedback is very important. So it's really good. Kind of enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay. And while I'm counting the ballot, would everybody like to sort of volunteer for next speaker for next week? Any volunteers for Toastmaster?
So I have the roles open on the spreadsheet for next week. Looks like so far we only have Wah Ming scheduled to be a backup speaker and everything else is open.
You can put me down for speaker number 1.
You want to be speaker number 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I be a speaker?
Yep.
To be speaker number 2, I guess.
Whoops, hold on a second. Is that Scott?
Yes.
Okay, you're speaker number 2. Okay. Does anybody want to be a table topics master or Toastmaster?
I'll be Toastmaster.
Jose, Toastmaster?
Table topics.
And that's Minju
Yes.
for table topics? Excellent. Okay. And so we have currently 2 speakers. Would anyone like to be an evaluator?
I'll evaluate one of the speakers.
Sorry. Who is talking?
This is Gautam.
Gautam, do you want to be a speaker, you said, or an evaluator?
I can be an evaluator.
Oh, it's a whatever you want to be. I couldn't quite hear you.
No, I can be an evaluator. I'm not sure about the speaker, but probably I can confirm it by end of this week.
Okay. I'll put you down for evaluator number 1.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other evaluators? Or anybody else want any roles, I should say? Okay, I can be an evaluator. Anybody like to be general evaluator? Okay. Let's see. Any other thing? So 2 of the roles that kind of need a tiny little advanced work are the joke master and the word master. Does anybody want to be joke master or word master?
It could be word master.
Word master Wah Ming.
I will try to be I will find a joke. I will be the joke master.
And who's saying they're going to be joke master? Sorry, can't see you.
Scott, I will be, yeah, I will be the joke master. Thank you.
Okay. And word master is Wah Ming. All right. The only other role that really is, big one would be general evaluator. Would anyone like to be general evaluator? Okay, well, I guess I could be general evaluator. We do need an invocator. Often the Toastmaster does that. Jose, do you want to be invocator or do you want somebody else to be invocator?
Yes, I'll be invocator.
Okay. All right. I think that is most of the major roles. The only thing really left would be like timer, grammarian, all counter, and those can be filled in later.
Is Hannah coming?
Oh.
Is Hannah coming next week?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
What about Saurabh? Are you up for taking any duty masters?
Sure.
Yeah.
You can start small.
So our counter, did you say that available, Georgie?
Yes, all counter is available. And let's see what else we have. We have all counter. We have which other one? We have
Grammar?
all counter and grammarian.
Oh, grammarian.
I'll do the all counter.
Who said all counter?
Saurabh.
Saurabh? Okay.
Nice.
All right. And grammarian, anyone interested in grammarian? Okay. Well, we can look into filling grammarian next week. So no big deal. And I'm sorry, Haroon, you were starting to talk about Hannah for next week.
Hannah is going to be back next week, I think.
Okay, so she'll probably be both video master and
ballot counter.
all counter. Sorry, not all counter, ballot counter.
Yeah.
So the only open role at the moment would be timer and grammarian. I forgot about timer. And of course, we still have, we have 2 confirmed speakers. We have Wah Ming as a backup speaker, but we do have a space for a 3rd speaker. So if anybody would like to speak, just a small reminder that we do have additional speaking slots. Meanwhile, we should be getting in all our ballots. Hopefully they're coming in. So Arun, do you have all the ballots collected? Is anything still missing?
Yes, I have all the ballots in, and we do have some winners.
Yay.
So drum roll, best table topics is Georgie. Our best evaluator is Minju. And our best speaker by consensus is Jose.
Thanks.
And let me just smile, everybody. Let me just take a quick picture. How do we take? Oh, yeah, okay. Quick picture. Yep, got it. And
Yay.
I will post this right away. Okay, well,
Okay. I have a question for people. It has nothing to do with Toastmasters, but I have seen this symbol. I've seen a symbol for an emoji, and I guess it's also kind of like a bowing symbol, but I don't know what it means. It's like a fist in a hand like that. Does anybody know what that means? Is there like some sign for that? No? Anyone know?
I think that for,
that?
where did you see it? I think in Chinese background, it
Yeah.
will be like, thank you.
It was like,
Or
use it for,
respect.
yeah, I
Yeah.
look at the, I look at foreign news on YouTube, and it's for channels that talk about what's going on in China, but in English, so I can understand it. And so some of the comments have that, and I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, I think it's thank you or respect. It's like,
Okay.
you know, in those like martial art movies, like, you know, they will do this at the beginning of the fight. Like,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, like, yeah.
So it'd be similar to like that, but like for martial arts people. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Chinese people, Chinese martial arts people. Got it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, a few weekends, it was just no, I first saw that symbol. I went on a binge watch session and watching Ip Man. I saw all the 4 movies,
Yeah.
and
Right.
they did that all the time. And I was just like, I thought, okay, this is so cool.
Wait a minute. Wait. Is it IP Man or something else?
No,
There's-
it's actually named Ip Man.
IP Man. So
IP
sorry,
Man.
I'm saying it's. I'm spelling it out
Oh,
because.
spelling- yes.
Okay, IP Man. Okay, Ip Man. Okay,
Ip Man.
yeah, I've seen the title. I've never actually seen the movie.
So do you know who that is?
Ip Man.
Iman. Iman is Bruce Lee's master. His Kung Fu
Yeah.
master.
And it was the spelling was from like Cantonese, right? So it was a little bit weird when people pronounce it as Ip Man, because in Cantonese the last, like the is it called a, so the P and the N is very subtle. They pronounce it very subtle, only just the lip. You don't pronounce that out. So it's Ip Man. Actually, when they say it. So when people say the whole thing, like the whole sound very round, it sounds weird.
Okay.
But it's just, you know, like people will say a different word from a different language always kind of differently. So
Yeah.
So. Okay. Well.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will be. Thank you for all your time. I enjoyed the meeting as well, and thank you for sharing about about that symbol for bowing. So, and hopefully we'll have a good meeting next week. So see you all next week, and have a wonderful week for the rest of the
Yes.
week.
you.
Try to stay cool, guys.
I'll get a hold of you guys for the next Worlds. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.